So there's something really weird going on. Your dog knows it, your mom knows it, you know it, I know it, everybody knows it, no one knows what it is, but you can feel it. So on January this year, I did a video on Derek, a guy who was hearing strange things in his backyard. He said he could feel it vibrate.
I have no idea what's going on, but listen to this. There's something under the ground.
He did a few videos on it. He even dug all over his backyard. He found nothing.
Look here, and we've hit rock, but listen to this.
And then on July 19th, this guy over here, Zach Grimm, starts hearing very similar sounds and vibrations in his backyard, but this time pretty close to Yellowstone Park. Things were so intense that you could actually see the ground shaking. So this is really weird, and he's got these bunch of videos, this mysterious and bizarre phenomenon happening all over Yellowstone Park. We're going to be taking a look at them in just a few minutes, but I start digging around, and I find out that things are way stranger than I initially thought. The earthquake in Russia that just happened a few days ago.
Overnight, a massive earthquake off the coast of Russia, triggering tsunami warnings across the Pacific Rim.
Господи, боже мой!
Those are tsunami waves. Look at that. Wow.
The ocean tide reversal that's happening for the first time.
Hey, so just in case nobody told you, there apparently has been a significant reversal in ocean current in the southern hemisphere of this planet. The implications are absolutely terrifying.
The possible alien threat.
Mira otro, Dari.
Estoy viendo. ¿Qué cojones es eso?
¿Verdad?
Mira, 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 mira.
Ahora viene un montón de ellos.
Ya ve. Nos están invadiendo extraterrestres. Díquela, díquela.
Do you hear about that object that's hurtling towards Earth at like 130,000 miles an hour?
No, that might solve all our problems.
There's this guy, Avi Loeb. He's a professor at Harvard.
Professor Avi Loeb and his team say the interstellar object is on an extremely unusual course.
There's a theory all of these things are possibly connected. Digging deeper into this rabbit hole, I found out there's something possibly massive going on under the Earth and in space. So let's start with the basic, and that would be Zach's videos. And on July 16th, something weird happened in Yellowstone Park. We're gonna get to that in a few minutes. Then on July 19th, Zach uploaded this video. Pretty weird, isn't it? Next day, he uploads another video. I mean, the impression I get from this video is that the ground is shaking, and maybe it is, but why? Things were actually pretty intense. It was like Zach was recording the ground cracking open right in front of his house. After posting all of these videos, people started coming up with different theories. Maybe it's the rich making tunnels underground. Lava tunnels, heard the same in Hawaii. Someone says earthquakes. This guy says a pipe borer or it's a tunnel borer. Sounds like machines, maybe they're digging new tunnels. But then Zach replied this. Neighbors called 811 and they verified no active jobs near us. It's in the middle of a private large farm. So if it's not a tunnel, if it's not something digging underground, then what is it? Alright, so found this on July 17th, home of supervolcano, and nature is giving a warning sign.
Look what's happening in Yellowstone right now. This was recorded by a tour guide that has been there for over 6 seasons and has never seen anything like this before. Now, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Yellowstone is home to a super volcano.
It's actually huge, isn't it? Alright, so it's pretty big.
The past week or so, flocks and flocks of animals have been leaving Yellowstone Park.
Is this actually happening?
Nature always gives warning signs.
Yeah.
And this is a warning sign. If you live in or around Yellowstone, I would heed nature's warning. Peace.
Let me take a look at this. No, animals are not leaving Yellowstone Park. Online sources are saying that animals are fleeing the park. This isn't the first time such claims have been made, and just like before, they aren't true. So animals fleeing Yellowstone, possibly not true, but still very weird how we have Zach and Derek 6 months apart hearing and feeling the same thing. And in January this year, Yellowstone volcanic activity was on the move. So this is one of the reasons that a lot of people started paying attention to Yellowstone. But if it's not something digging underground, Derek's and Zach's backyard, then what is going on here? So I decided to map the vibrations, and this is what I get. Almost a straight line to the earthquake that happened yesterday in Russia. First vibration happened in Kentucky, and then one in Wyoming just recently, and then a straight line, almost a straight line to the earthquake in Russia. Now this could be a coincidence, and it possibly is. But what if it's not? What if this earthquake is more than just an earthquake?
Alright, you're not gonna believe this, but in 1999, a Japanese woman named Ryo Tatsuki published a book saying that a major was going to happen in Japan, and guess what? It happened. That year, Japan experienced one of its worst earthquakes ever. But here's the scary part. Now she's predicting this summer, July 2025, the ocean floor between the Philippines and Japan is going to erupt, causing a tsunami 3 times worse than 2011.
So back in March this year, All-Star Steven posted this video explaining how Ryo Tatsuki predicted this earthquake before. But apparently she wasn't the only one. And people who predicted this earthquake talked about other things, not just earthquakes.
There it is again. UFO.
This is not AI, in case anybody's wondering.
Several people supposedly predicted the earthquake, but in some of these predictions, things got pretty weird. Like this post made to Reddit 23 hours ago. Dave Dude says, okay, this guy caught my attention. So he's talking about Colin Vickers, who wrote, guys, I can give you a message directly from our observers. They are coming back. And then he goes on to explain why the alien observers are coming back. He says it's got something to do with control and greed, and he explains how we will see the start of this process from now on. Then he leaves another comment, and he says, watch for a major EQ in Japan. This will be the first sign. A few hours later, I guess 1 day later, it happened. The EQ very close to Japan happened. So it was predicted by several people, and this guy, Colin Vickers, is talking about an alien observer or alien observers that are supposedly coming back. And it sounds complete rubbish, right?
Do you hear about an object that's hurtling towards Earth at like 130,000 miles an hour?
No, that might solve all our problems.
What?
Intergalactic object that's this guy Avi Loeb. He's a professor at Harvard that believes it might be an alien probe.
Wait, we had Oumuamua, now we have 31 Atlas. What's going on here? Let's take a look at this. There's going to be a change. I know the aliens are coming. What?
Looking at a really, really big move, you know. I want to really take over Disney. You feel me? I want us, because I know there's going to be a shift. I know there's going to be a change. I know the aliens coming.
What?
You know, it's really difficult even to see a spacecraft that is tens of kilometers in size. It's impossible to see it when it's at a distance larger than...
Okay, so this is A.V. Loeb.
Separation. It doesn't reflect much sunlight.
Professor, we have about a minute left. I wanted to ask you real quick if you could maybe offer a recommendation. If we see this object, we're getting closer to it, what should be the first communications that human beings should have with this object if it is another intelligence?
What?
You know, my recommendation to people who go on a blind date is... First, you need to listen. Don't speak. Just listen to the other side. And that's the approach we should take.
So I'm not sure if I buy into the alien objects coming to Earth. It could be a preparation for a fake alien invasion like some believe. but it could also be the real deal, and maybe explains why we're seeing so many of these objects on Earth already. So searching for UFO sightings the same week of the vibrations and tremors, I found this. Coming in from Dees226.2, and he basically created this account just to upload this video, so I'm guessing this is possibly the real deal. Look at that. What's that, a balloon maybe? And then there's videos like this one, 4 days ago by Casey Cotton. This was in California. Check this out.
This is not AI, in case anybody's wondering.
Yep, doesn't look like it. It looks like there's something massive behind that cloud. Then on July 7th in Spain, this is in Barcelona, people saw multiple objects. Check this out.
Mira otro, Cari. Estoy viendo. ¿Qué cojones es eso?
Yeah, it doesn't look like a plane.
¿Pero y qué son esas cosas?
Look at that. There's a trail.
¿Pero qué es? ¿Dónde son aviones?
So the weird part is that... Okay. Oh, there's more.
Nos están invadiendo extraterrestres. Díquela. Creo que
Why? Okay, those are not drones.
Creo que salen de la playa, Mira.
Okay, he's saying they're leaving the ocean. Huh.
Que no, Cari, que de allí que vas a ver.
So it's still happening.
Señores, esto es increíble.
So these, look at that one. That one just disappeared. Look at that. Yeah.
Estos no son aviones. Ni de chimbo.
This is pretty similar to what we were seeing back in January, December, and November with the orbs and drones. So it's basically happening again, and it started happening more and more this month.
¿De qué son? Mira más.
Okay, so there's more. And they're coming from the ocean. Let's see what else we can find. So, month of June, there was a huge sighting in Poland during a lightning storm. Let's take a look at this. So those are not birds. Definitely not a plane. Wow. On July 19th, just a couple of weeks ago, in Minneapolis, we had a massive sighting, very similar to the one in Spain. Check this out. Yeah, that's pretty similar to the one in Spain. Yep. So this Cotton Vickers guy, he talks about the earthquake and it happens the next day. He talks about aliens coming back, and now Avi Loeb is saying that they're coming back. And then he talks about a pole shift, but the poles aren't shifting, are they?
The poles are shifting and the ocean is literally starting to reverse. That might sound crazy, but it's happening. This is a once in a several thousand year event, and it's unfolding in our lifetime.
Okay, so the poles are shifting. What else is happening?
Hey, so just in case nobody told you, there apparently has been a significant reversal in ocean current in the southern hemisphere of this planet. The implications are absolutely terrifying, and if you are a person who trusts scientists, which I'm I'm one of those people. I do trust science, and I do trust the information given. Especially because it's not received the actual news coverage it should have. And it won't, I'm sure.
Wait a minute, so the ocean tides in the southern hemisphere are reversing and this could cause a climate shift? What? Oh, I found this article over here. Southern ocean current reverses for the first time, signaling risk of climate system collapse. Also found the same thing posted to Reddit. However, on Reddit, people went deeper and they found out that this article was either translated poorly or it's not been submitted for peer review, which means that this is possibly not yet 100% official, which is good. So there's a bunch of coincidences when it comes to the vibrations that are happening in the United States, pointing directly towards the earthquake that was predicted by a Japanese woman in 2011. And then you got this object, 31 Atlas. Some researchers think it's an alien object. And you got the alien drones and orbs that have been flying all over the planet since November. It seems that there's something going on, no one knows what it is. I'll be on the lookout for any news or updates on this situation, but I want to know what you think. Are we being prepared for a fake alien invasion? Are these events possibly correlated? Or is this all just a coincidence and pretty much far-fetched? What's your take? Leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel with notifications on and smash that like button. I'll see you guys tomorrow.